clips. I got a introduction song request
Okay, what's up?
for the
Hit
one
me.
time.
Hit me.
Maybach by 42 Doug and Future.
Who requested that?
Me.
Oh, I thought I'm getting ready to say I know Yaz ain't request that.
No, me.
Oh.
All right, I'll hit you with that on the intro right now.
42 Doug is fire though. Hyper civilized, like Fi society where I could be a god. Come get me. Come pick me up.
And then,
Well, we'll see if they come knocking on your door.
Shit, they
I'm gonna
just
fuck
might.
y'all head up a little bit more. After that, I went on a YouTube rabbit hole. Next video, Joe Rogan introducing
Joe Rogan
interviewing.
will be the next video in that.
Oh God, that's what I said. I said, nah, this look like some fire. So I click on it. Joe Rogan. Who he interviewing? Fuck if I know, some white guy. But the nigga is talking about the simulation theory, and he was saying how he believes. Well, he said that there's like 3 options for life on Earth, and the first option being, this is the most interesting one to me, is that we as a technological, all civilizations that are technologically based, right? So all the ones that we know on Earth, they all will go extinct prior to reaching a level of technological maturity. What's technological maturity? Technological maturity would be a space where we are able to technologically advance ourselves far enough to have AI that are completely
Autonomous.
and
Sentient.
have their own brain. Yes, sentient. There you go. They make their own decisions, basically. Because essentially, what he's proposing is that humanity's purpose may be to build our technology is always, it's rapidly increasing, and now it's been exponentially so as of recently. So like he's saying, oh, if we're able to take the AI that we have and make it completely autonomous, like y'all are saying, that would be proof that human life is a civilization. I mean, civilization. Human life is a simulation, a civilization. That just fucked up my whole shit. That's crazy. It fucked up my whole shit. But it means that we are a simulation, because if we're able to duplicate that,
I understand the thinking behind the theory, but that doesn't automatically mean that just because we're able to do that, that means that was automatically done with us and we are the product of that. It's a possibility.
No. The simulation would be replicating exactly what it is that we know. So it would simulate our brains. It would simulate our decision making. It would simulate.
I see what you're saying.
It's all It's like it would all be a program.
I see what he's saying.
It wouldn't be up to like. Yes, we have free will. Yes, we make our own decisions, but the program is why we do that.
Okay. But who created the program?
But that's what he's saying.
It would be another version of us.
He's saying that if we can recreate what it is to be human in a robot identically, then that means that someone had to have simulated us. So that proves that it's a simulation.
Yes. Because why else would we be able to? There's literally no other conclusion that you would be able to draw from that. If we're able, for instance, Clips, if we're able to take GTA 5, right, and have every single one of those NPCs be a different person that has their own thought process, that makes their own decisions, that has a job,
Scary
they have
hours.
they have to go to a place, like they're all hardwired. They all are hardwired with a brain, the same way that you are in GTA. You know what I mean? Like you see how all the characters have the same limits. It would be the same kind of concept for the simulation. It would be we're all the brain was simulated into whatever algorithm or computer programming, whatever beings that are running the program have created. So it would just be like a continual cycle.
I understand what you're saying. I understand it, and I understand how that makes sense too.
Right.
I don't know if I'm fully on board with that, if this then that, just yet.
Well, I'm just telling you what the scientists are saying because I'm not.
Yeah,
I just said civilization. So
I mean, it's all theories at the end of the day, but it's definitely one of them things that make your mind fuck itself up. So
I for one would like to close out this extraterrestrial segment that you brought us by saying that I do believe that we are in a simulation in the way that Juice says it, because some people say we live in a simulation and they're saying it in a really abstract way that doesn't make sense, but in the way that Juice explaining it, I do believe that we live in a simulation because I do think we were created. Now, are we naive and is it our mistake to worship who created us, not knowing who it is? Maybe. Because it could have all just been for some Petri dish shit. But yeah.
Exactly.
Some Petri dish
It literally could have been. And that's when you start talking about extraterrestrials and these things that they're discovering with government equipment and government officials are seeing with their own eyes for upwards of 5 minutes at a time. That's why I say it's interesting to me, because I want to see what they want to say, what they're going to say. What does it lead these top minds in our country that they're talking to?
But you're not going to get all them. But see, that it's a double-edged sword for me, because you're not going to get all the information with that. They're going to tell you.
I don't need it.
And I mean, you don't
need all of the information. I just want to hear what they have to say. That's it.
Okay, I feel you, but I feel like you kind of do though, because it's like, well, I mean, I understand what you're saying from your perspective, but from my perspective, it's just like I truly want to know like what it is that is out there in its entirety, and that's not just something that's going to be willingly revealed. So, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it's something that we can handle.
We probably can't handle it.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Yeah,
I just want whatever's out there to know that I'm not looking for you.
That's definitely scary hours. Definitely scary.
Yeah, that's scary hours, baby.
So and then it's so like this is what he was saying though. He was like, think about the coincidences that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. Like we seem to have found all of ourselves living and existing in a time where we can't really believe that we're like existing and living in this time. Like it feels unreal. We've lived through a lot of shit, like a lot of crazy shit. Pandemics. I'm talking about the whole of humanity at this point, right? We're talking about
absolutely.
It's endured a lot. So for it to have come to a head now, it's just interesting to me.
It is very interesting.
For me to be alive and be blessed to be 25, about to be 26, like I'm really in a good zone to see where everything goes, because I was born in a time where there wasn't any cell phones, and now I'm attached to my phone like more than anything else. So I've seen and I've evolved with technology as it's grown. I remember
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
computer classes and shit in like 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I took computer classes in 3rd grade too.
That's what I'm saying. You learn about the internet. You learn how to fucking use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all
Man,
that shit. Why? Because it's everything.
All right, look. So enough of the alien, extraterrestrial, spooky,
Y'all-
scary hours talk.
Hey, X-Files, nigga.
But
Shout out Luca.
prayers for everyone involved.
Shout out to Luca.
So. But
Prayers
anyways,
to us, nigga.
let me yes, prayers to us, please. But look, let me go ahead and just intro this real quick. This podcast is canceled, episode number 24. This is pre-recorded, obviously. We are not live because of conflicting schedules here, so we wanted to pre-record the episode so we can still deliver it to you in a timely manner. But as usual, I'm joined with Ju and Zara.
Hi.
Good evening, everybody.
My
Thank you for
beautiful
tuning in.
co-hosts. I can't thank them enough for being here. Subscribe to all the channels, the YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever. If you can subscribe to it, subscribe. Like the video on YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment section. You know, satisfy the algorithms, and
Leave
we
a
would
rating.
appreciate that. Yeah, leave a rating, 5-star review,
Please.
because why would you leave less than 5 stars? That doesn't make any sense.
You hate me.
Unless you hate us.
Right.
I want honest feedback.
But if you hate us, then you should still leave 5 stars because we invoke some emotion out of you. So you should, yeah. Like I mean, come on now, we did our jobs.
You on some tennis shit. You fighting in reverse.
Bro, I watched. I'm not even gonna get into it.
See, look, got you hype. Look, got you. Look.
Hey man. But this is a very special episode as well, because we have some interesting and important and what's the word? Some news to share with everybody.
He's good. This nigga's good.
Bro.
I'm just trying to lead the people
No, set
into
the table, B.
I'm
Set the
yeah,
table.
just
We
trying
about
to
to
set
eat.
the table.
Go ahead.
Let me
we
cook
about
so
to
we can eat. Let me cook so we can eat. All
Go
right.
ahead. Set the table, B.
But this will be our last. Well, let me not say last, but from this point on, the beautiful Zara will not be an official member of this podcast. Of course, there's no beef, it's no bad blood, no hate. I didn't
Zero.
fire
For
her.
you.
Right.
No,
I didn't fire her. You know,
Zara,
she's always
from this
welcome back
point
here.
on, you are in breach of your contract.
You're fired.
It's like, Clips, you gotta do this shit, nigga. This is the Clips Network. I can't do this.
The Clips Network.
It's not
a network?
HR.
Is it a network? It was just one show.
No.
I saw the other video you uploaded,
Hey.
nigga. You got more than one show.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
Details. Anyways, but yeah, this is Zara will no longer be an official member of the show. She has her own personal endeavors that she is choosing to pursue at this point in time. And of course, we love and respect her for that. And she's, of course, always welcome to come on the podcast anytime she likes.
Go support her.
Yeah, absolutely. Go support her. She has her own podcast. She has her own things that she's trying to do, you know, just in life and to get her to
Correct.
the level that she wants to be at. So I'm never gonna knock somebody for wanting to take that step in the direction that they feel they should go in. So we wanted to have, you know, one last official episode as a
Dynamic
triplet,
trio.
as a trio together, just so y'all can be informed as to what's going on. So this won't be the last time you see her, of course.
It
You know,
won't.
she'll be back, but she won't be
Absolutely
here
not.
every week.
Right.
It'll be me and Ju, you know, just rocking it out, or you know, who knows what may happen in the future, you know. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and continue on the episode. Actually, on that same, keeping it on Zara, you were asking me something that I thought was something kind of interesting to get into about family.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to find a way to do this But so I was just talking. We were just having a private conversation, and I asked if there was toxicity in this exchange or within these two within this relationship, and
Right, talking about my mom.
right, okay. I just wanted you to say it. I mean,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
okay. But
Hi, Mama Clips.
right. Hi, mommy, Clips. We love you. But and I asked him, and because so this all started. Let's give a little backstory. This all started because Clips talked about how he hates texting, and so then of course we went on this like deep dive about texting. But then he was just getting frustrated while he's texting, and I'm just like, just text, like you know what I'm saying, just say what you gotta say. And he was like, well, this is
Second
my
nature.
mom. And then of course I said something smart aleck off the flip, and he was just like, he was like, well, you know.
I believe you said I talked to my mama. Andy.
That's exactly what I said.
I don't give a fuck, nigga.
And just to preface what I meant by that is I see my mom as my equal. I see her as someone who has co-created my life. She is not my slave master. She is not my boss. And so I have a very high functioning friendship and relationship with her that I'm very appreciative of. And I think it's because I don't put her on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I meant by anyway, as in when she get on my nerve, I'm gonna text her like, you're getting on my nerves. You need to stop texting me. I will text you later. Some people necessarily don't feel comfortable speaking to their parents like that for whatever reason. And that's between y'all. So I'm asking him, he's getting frustrated. He's just like, well, you know, this is my mom. And I'm just like, I said what I said. And then I was like, well, is there, you know, I was like, is she toxic? And he was just like, well, you know, other people might perceive her as that, but I just think, you know, that she's doing the best that she has, basically. And so that's what led us up to this point that Clips is talking about now.
Right, because that's a question that a lot of people will ask right now. Like, is it toxic or is this person toxic? And the answer might be yes to whatever that question may be. But I think I was answering that and saying like whatever the intention may be, right? Like is this person toxic because they're trying to be toxic? They just don't care about your feelings, or are they just operating in what they know?
Right.
And so I think that in this particular situation, without giving too much away, you know, it's conflicting perspectives within the family that kind of cause emotions to flare up, right? So like you have my mom, you have my wife, and people who are raised differently and see things differently and react to things differently. So that when they see certain things that she may see as normal, that I may see as normal because we were kind of raised under the same, you know, the same bubble. Mm-hmm. Having another person who wasn't raised that same way, perceiving it as something different is like a real big eye opener. And also, you know, just being off on my own, living on my own and shit, and, you know, learning new things and looking at things from a different lens. You know, you can look back and see a lot of those things that, you know, was it the best way to handle things? Probably not. You know, is it because this person's a bad person? Of course not. Like, but where was, like you said, you do the best with what you have, right? People weren't necessarily afforded all of the knowledge or emotional intelligence that we have access to right now. And so a lot of the times it ends up being toxic, right? And there's not really a way around that. So let me give you an example, right? Without trying to talk too much, but like people, like let's say your parents or whatever, right? Your parents may have been growing up around, you know, the 70s or 80s where, you know, it was a much different time back then, right? Like if you had kids, you know, whooping your kids, beating your kids, that was a normal thing, right? Or talking to your kids in a certain way, saying like, you know, a certain respect dynamic between parents and children was had, right? Versus 20 years later, like in the 2000s, a lot of people can look back on that and say like, yeah, that was a really toxic relationship between us because, like, I may have feared you, or we never really got to build a relationship. It was just kind of like, words. I'm not saying that's my situation, but just saying, like, trying to paint the differences between, like, generations or how people may perceive things. And then aside from that, like, just the general view, like one person's view and the next person's view could just be totally different, even if they're from the same generation, right? Because families are just different. And so with me, I think one thing that's different is just in how I grew up and the way that I handle things is, like, I don't want to say I'm a lot less sensitive, but I don't internalize certain things as much as someone else would, right? Like, if somebody was to say something like you a bitch ass nigga, yada yada, like that, like certain, like where I come from, just an example, like that could be something that we just say, and it's not really to be thought nothing of it. But somebody else, you might be able to say that same thing, and they're like, yo, like, what did I do to you? Like, why would you say that to me? Did I do something to where you would make me feel like that? And it's just
People
like,
get killed over that.
Right.
yeah, and it's just like, it's not a right or wrong. It's just differences, right? And you have to, and having my eyes open to that, to where previously I never would have even taken a second to think about, like, okay, so what? So fuck what? That's what you said. Like, I don't, but that's not correct, and is what I'm learning, because it's like, you have to respect how people view things and how they perceive things. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on, if you can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
Sounds like you've been pondering for a while, bro.
Yeah, I think... a lot to unpack there. I think for me, this is my viewpoint individually. And I understand and I hear everything that you said. First, I want to start off with, in my family, just to keep it on me, there's a lot of generational curses. And I don't mean curses as in somebody cursed us, but I mean as in people are just not doing the work to change.
No. Yeah, no. 100%
They just
agree.
people refuse, and I can only speak on Black folks. Maybe you can give us the other side. But Black people have some plantation mentalities that we bring that shit to our family. Like, it's like, we bring all the pressure and trauma and stress from being oppressed in the real world, and instead of having a loving environment to come home to, we blow that shit up too. And then when people go out into the world and they do meet these high functioning people without the same mental health issues, and they meet these happy people who want to pour into them and love them, they can't accept it, they can't get along with it, they can't interact the way they want to because they've been ill prepared. And that's what I see in my family, is a whole bunch of people who have been ill prepared to go out into the world and be loved, and to curate new relationships. It's almost like living in a constant state of karma. Just continue bumping your head up against the wall.
And that's what I call it, a cycle.
Right.
Because, like, it's
cyclical, and it's systemic. It's very systemic because it starts at the root. And I think when we start talking about grandmas and moms, it gets touchy for people. Because once you start critiquing and criticizing your parents, you got to start critiquing and criticizing yourself, because you probably carry most of them same red buttons that they carry. And I think that's why a lot of people don't want to look at their parents as human, because once you do that, you open up Pandora's box, and then you have to start thinking about your parents in ways that you might not like, that might not coincide with what we learn in the Black household. See your parent as God. But I don't think that Black people realize, when you see your parent as God and God has mistreated you and abused you in whatever way, not because they wanted to, because that's what they know, you bring that mentality about how you see authority and God and spirituality and other people into the real world. And so if your first introduction to God and to authority is this oppressive, stressed out, mean person, Black moms, that's you getting started, like, you start 10 steps behind everybody else who didn't have that experience. And to be honest with you, I think that is the longest lasting, most impactful thing that slavery has done to us, in my opinion.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
One
I
hundred
would say
percent.
it's fucked up the family structure for the black household.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
Because it's like at what point will we have a generation that is almost 100%? It's never going to be fully
Right.
100%, obviously, right? But almost 100% or an overwhelming majority just raised with a healthy mentality, right?
It's never
Because
gonna happen.
it's so scattered and so mixed up and messed up because of, like you said, where it stems from, and it's a cycle. So people are only learning what the people before them knew. And if that information is being intentionally limited, it's like, well, shit, I can't teach you some shit I don't know. Now you have those people who will always, like, shine through the cracks or elevate to a new level because they may have been exposed to some different information. But
Right.
yeah, but and that's wonderful that that happens, but that's just unfortunately not a majority,
But I
right?
would. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jew. Or were you saying something, Jew?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm waiting for y'all to finish. I have a point.
He looking like,
I have a point. I'm just waiting for y'all to
No,
finish.
I know. I
I'm
would
gonna
say
get
something to
I'm gonna
Clips,
get
and
to
I want you to come right behind me because I'm really interested in hearing your perspective. But what I was going to say to Clips to combat what you're saying is, I think the consciousness, the awareness that you're having right now, to me, that's your higher power letting you know you got two paths that you're about to go down. Either you can continue the cycle or you can do the work to make changes. And I think it starts with our generation, and I think by the time our kids have grandkids, I think black people will be where we want to be, honestly, because our generation, we not playing that beating your kid shit. We not playing that yelling at your kids. We want to be friends with our children. We want to love them and nurture them. So I think that we're doing what we're supposed to do, but I just think that we can't be prideful like our parents and be like, well, this is just the way it is. No,
ooh,
it's not. This is not the way it's meant to be.
that
There you go.
pride, that pride,
It's not even
that right
pride.
there.
It's not even pride. I would say it's like it's just generational. It's what they were taught. It's how they were raised. It's all of those things. But I think my perspective on all of this. Let's bring it back to what we were originally talking about, so the audience doesn't feel lost. Can you have a toxic relationship with your parents or with close family, etc.? I think the answer to that lies with it's very simple. Can you have toxic relationships with your friends? Can you have toxic relationships
Absolutely.
with your loved ones, or like your significant other, or rather? And the answer 9 times out of 10 to all of those is yes. There's siblings that don't get along. There's cousins that don't get along. X, Y, Z. The list goes on and on. So I want to be clear in saying that I think because we are not our parents, we weren't raised the same way they were. We are a completely new generation. We live in an entirely new context. I think it's hard for them to grasp. I think at times that, like Zara said, I don't think that they were really equipped with the tools to be prepared to raise people like us. Now do I blame? No, because it's how the world has worked, and I'm thankful at the end of the day that I'm here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think whenever you want something for yourself, and somebody that so called loves you or cares about you, and they have a vision for you that's different, when you don't align, that's when these kinds of things can happen. Like you said, if you want to do one, if you want to, if you're, let's say your child is acting up in public and you're with your mother, she'll look at you and be like, you better snatch him the fuck up if he's throwing a temper tantrum. And you're like, nah, like give him 5 minutes, he'll stop. It's just the difference and how we even approach those kinds of issues.
Right.
Right.
We're not even in the same headspace as them.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
So,
because everybody's different, right?
because
So
everybody is different. Like that's why I wanted to also say, and I wanted to point out and spotlight the fact that Zara said that she looks at her mother as the co-creator of her. She looks at her no more than what her biological and perhaps her spiritual and like emotional, like those necessities that you get from a maternal figure.
Right.
That's what she looks at her for.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less. Because once you start to get into this mode where you start to when people have good relationships with their parents, they tend to put they tend to put a bunch of value on what their parents feel about shit, right?
Yeah.
So if they tell you, nah, you shouldn't do that, I mean, I'm no better than that, because when she said, you know, some of us would never talk to our parents that way. I raised my hand because I personally, now granted, I tell my mama if she getting on my fucking nerves, but that's totally different to me. When I'm talking about like my life, and she wants to give me suggestions on, you know, jobs to apply for or schools to look at, or, you know, XYZ. Women, like, even if it comes to women, right? If I show her, if I'm dating somebody and she, you know, meets them, she can share her opinion, but it's only gonna hold as much value that I give to it. So if I allow her to dictate my decisions, it's a toxic situation. You're being manipulated.
Codependency.
Yeah, and it's not healthy. Nobody should be able to, or nobody should or have to live in those circumstances. You should do what the hell you want. You should do what the hell you're doing, as long as you're not harming other people or infringing on other people's free will. Like, period.
And I agree with that 100%. I also think it's a fine line too, right? So I want to make maybe 2 points before I forget. I'm trying to keep this a little bit cohesive here, but I want to make like 2 points in regards to that, right? So no, nobody you shouldn't dictate your entire life based off of what your parents say or something like that. But speaking from personal experience, right? Like, from a spiritual standpoint, there's been a lot of times where, because obviously, you know, whatever relationship you have with your parents, you know, your parents have love for you and they want the best for you generally, right? Mm-hmm. So most of the time they're going to be talking to you from a place of, hey, I just think this is what's best for you. It may not always be the case, but based on what I have in here, this is what's best for me. Now, in my childhood growing up, I've listened to my mom and I've done the complete fucking opposite of what my mom has told me.
I think we all have.
Right.
We all have experiments because it's important.
I've been on all sides of that. So I've done it. I've done it all. I'm like, look, I ain't trying to hear that shit right now, right? But again, that's why I say from a spiritual standpoint, right? It's been a lot of times where it's been almost scary to a point where it's like my mom has had conversations with me about things, stuff that I may not have even brought up to her. Mm-hmm. And it's like, look, I feel this, and this, right? Not getting into specifics. Be careful about it. Don't do that. All right? It's not this time yet or whatever. And I may have listened or I may have not, but that same thing, whatever she said, has ended up happening, or I may have seen it happening and I, you know, somehow took her advice. And so it kind of just put it in a different kind of perspective for me that, you know, basically like God has that certain touch on her and showing that to us. So a lot of times I kind of look at it from that angle. So like, yes, she may not know everything, but in certain situations, I have to know when that this is something that I need to listen to.
Intuition.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be clear too. Mm-hmm. The reason we listen to I want to be clear too, like, we're not bashing people that listen to their parents.
No, of course
not.
The
idea, like you said, is that they want the best for you. And
hopefully,
chances.
Some people parents don't.
Correct. Hopefully. If they're upstanding human beings.
Right.
So when they say shit to us, it's not that we're saying don't listen to your parents or do what the fuck you want. You should always do what the fuck you want.
I'm going to say, I advocate for you doing what the fuck you want. Mistakes and all.
But I come from a place where I respect what they have to tell me, because there have been times, like Clips has said, where I'll be going through something and they are able to connect to me in a way, whether that be, like you say, spiritually or just mentally or just them being able to say, look, man, when I was your age,
Right.
I was doing that shit.
Right.
This is what happened to me. And you're
Right.
able to take that with a grain of salt, right? Like you said, there's times where you listen to it and you're like, all right, I ain't fucking around. Or there's times where you say, man, that nigga don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I like Zara, like I agree. You should do whatever the fuck you want to do at all times. But I don't blame somebody,
Right.
right, for having that. Not like a check and balance. They have that check and balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like some people they
'Cause
would
I
be
had it.
fucking reckless, right? Like,
Yeah.
my mama make sure I pay my medical bills and shit like that. Granted, I should probably do that shit myself because I'm gonna have to do it. But that's just how she is. Like, that's her job or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
She just
Yeah,
feels obligated
absolutely.
to that shit. That's how she raised me. Like, she wants to be a part of all of that shit. So she makes sure it gets done.
I feel.
Yeah, and
Because she knows me.
I want to make I want to finish my last point before
Yeah.
before
Please
before
don't
you go.
forget.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
just,
you like that.
Just real quick. Because in terms of, because Zara mentions like by the time that our grandkids are here, she feels like Black people will be where we need to be or where we want to be, and I probably agree with that. Overall. Because I think the reason that we have so many lingering effects from like slavery and stuff like that.
So recent.
Yeah, well, one, it's recent, but two, is because there's so many small baby steps that we have to make in order to make progress for the next generation.
Right.
So like in my life personally, I feel like there has been progress made from my previous generation to myself because of the environment I was raised in, right? So, prime example, my mother, my parents divorced when I was in elementary school, young, so it was mostly my mom just raising me. I saw my dad though, so he wasn't like a stranger or nothing. But one thing that she always made sure to do is listen to us. She always made it clear that, hey, you can talk to me. You can tell me what's on your mind, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. Like, she wasn't really the type to like lead with like, oh, I'm gonna whoop your ass or some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. She would do it if the situation called for it, but that was always like just last resort. Like, I don't know what else to do at this point. But I've had a lot of great conversations with my mom, like just growing up through school and stuff, because she made it an environment where I felt like I could talk. Now, I didn't always do that when I should have, but I can't say that she didn't make an environment. Yeah, I can't say that she didn't make it clear that she wanted to hear what we had to say. And I really value that looking back on it, because like I said, it didn't create an environment that a lot of people grew up with that like, oh, I can't talk to my parents, or they just like, nigga, you go to school, you gotta do this, or if you don't do this, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, it's like, where's the relationship there, So that I do value.
Tell me that shit so much, I didn't even believe that shit. Y'all, you could talk to me about anything.
But we did talk about a lot though, and that's why I say that I feel like that's a necessary step in getting to where you eventually want to be, because yeah, you have to listen to people have to feel like they have a voice, or that they matter in the fucking world.
Yeah, it starts with your parents. I mean,
It does. It starts and ends with them.
yeah, it ends with your parents. Yeah, I mean, I feel like opposite maybe to y'all. I mean, well, maybe not opposite. I just think that y'all have a different perception of your parents than I do.
It's just different.
Yeah, it's not opposite. I think all of our parents, because all our parents are the same age, so they probably all of the same feather. It's just you guys. First of all, y'all are men, and y'all don't have the same relationships with your parents as women do. And then second, I just think it's all about what type of relationship you want, right? And it's about like your life experiences and stuff like that. And I think one of the ways that Black people can do better moving forward is to stop acting like certain people's living situations are terminally unique. Because when I find, like, when I talk to people I know, my peers, like, everyone wants to act like they have a perfect family and a perfect parents, and I'm like, you have
Nobody
trauma,
does.
you act crazy, you don't know you. I'm like, there's no way that your upbringing, there's no way the upbringing that you're telling me it couldn't happen, because the way that your behavior is showing that you were trained to behave a different way. So I would love for more Black people our age to have these types of open conversations about their parents and not be scared to say, no, my dad was verbally abusive. I still love him. He didn't. I don't feel like he hates me. But looking back, because I feel like if you do not acknowledge the things that your parents did wrong, you will repeat them with your kids, and then we get nowhere.
You 100% will.
So if you can't be objective enough to say, mom and dad were wrong here, here, and here, you better love the way you are, because them kids gonna come out 10 times worse.
You know what's fun for me is having those conversations with them now.
Right.
I like going over their parental mistakes with them. I'll be like, hey, you remember this? And I'll be like, this is what I was doing,
Right.
and this is what you thought I was doing. Now, you might not have known to the fullest extent. You know I was doing some bullshit, but you didn't know what the bullshit was. Now let me tell you what the bullshit was. And now they understand. And I think it creates like this level of like, because I've always had a great relationship with my mom in terms of talking.
Pisces are good for that.
I used to love going to my mama for stuff.
Me too.
First and foremost, I'm her only child. I'm a mama's boy, XYZ, the whole thing. So for me and my mama is like close. When me and my mama used to get into arguments and shit when I was little, because she would just let me do that. Like, she would let me challenge her on shit. We would talk about shit, but like
I've
that
had
allowed
plenty
me
of
to feel.
arguments.
It allowed me to feel comfortable. And then my dad would be like, nigga, he would damn near, he would get like upset. He'd be like, you're not supposed to argue with your mom.
Shit,
Because
me.
he just raised different. Because
Yeah.
his mama argue with her.
Yeah.
Argue
Knock your
with
fucking
my
teeth out,
grandmother.
nigga.
God know our hearts. That's
You
why I was
get
born in
batted.
1995.
And so this is what a little bit of what we're saying. So I agree that it's gonna get better.
It is.
Because I'm not gonna do that shit with my kids. They ask me some shit, and then I tell them some shit, and they like, but this is what I know. I'm gonna be like, first of all, I'm gonna be fucked up probably, because I'm gonna be like, damn, nigga, like, how you know that?
Right.
And then second of all, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, if you know, then I can
Right.
explain it to you better, right? I can explain it.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have already, like, you have a little knowledge base. So if you're ready for the information, I can give it to
I have
you.
this is
Yeah.
a perfect say goo. Can I say goo us?
Absolutely.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. So we talk about relationship, which is like super on point. One thing that I wanted to talk about that I mentioned to the guys was that I just wanted to talk about like friendship and stuff and the roller coaster ride that it has been. I can't speak for them, but I know Zara is off the fucking chain. Like, I am like, I'm a Sagittarius. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
She's off the chain.
I am truly off the chain, but it's like, I think this year was such an amazing year for friendship for me. Not because it was perfect all the time, but just because I got to really see what it meant. And I think to be honest with you, this is like a critique to women. Women got to do better with disagreements, because I have disagreed with these niggas a multitude of times. Like, we don't agree on a whole bunch of shit, but here we are. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that lesson is hard to learn with a whole bunch of homegirls.
Hey, yo,
Man.
you just triggered me like high key. Like, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why the fuck can't women apologize?
Because we're not, you know what it is?
Please tell me
can
why.
tell you.
Because like,
I can
On the
tell you.
island, my
And
friend.
women
ahead.
can't
Go ahead.
apologize because we are not taught conflict resolution. And I'm gonna blame it on a patriarchy. But I think that and then when I say the patriarchy, I'm not talking about men specifically. I'm talking about the systemic
the system
right.
as a whole. I understand.
So
I understand.
Cheers, Zara. This is an edible.
Ooh, it's edible. I'm drinking CBD tea. But I think that it benefits the world that women have not come together. And so we're not taught conflict resolution from our moms, because our moms usually hate women. Some people moms hate their own daughters. And I think a lot of that comes out in relationships with other men and women. You can tell people who mom didn't like them when they're a woman. I'm not trying to be funny, but
No, that's very common. I think that's a majority, if I'm being honest with you.
yes, especially
You
if
know
they
what's
black.
funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is
I'm always talking about
Oh,
black
okay.
people when I talk. So yeah.
So my dad, he was a fucking ladies' man, whatever, right? My mama, super innocent chick, and you know how they say like boys, you look for like your mom and who you date and shit like that, like who you talk to. What I noticed is, like she's saying, my confidence when I talk to other women, it comes from like I'm talking to my mom, like
Right.
not on a weird
No, but
level,
it's
right?
intimacy
But
is
like
No,
learned
I
from your
just like
understand.
it's
parents.
a
Yeah.
woman, and like I know what my dad says to her, what makes her
Right.
laugh, and like I get my sense of humor from both of them. So like y'all know me as being like a lot of times super corny, like on the button, like super on the head with shit. So like that's how I am. You can ask. I mean, you can ask Yasmin that shit. It's how I am. So it's a weird, like you said, like it's just weird how that it all works together.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and
my
but
bad. I ain't-
I was saying, given that prelude to say that, I just, I feel very grateful. I feel blessed to have you guys in my life. And there were moments and times where I was just like, I don't want to be friends with these niggas. They getting on my nerves. They don't care about me. Da 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 da. Like whatever is going on through my mind. But then like and I think it also too helped that I went through this period of learning about true friendship. And granted, I have true homegirls, but friendship with women is totally different than it is with having men as friends. And I learned camaraderie and how to work with people through you guys and the Discord and stuff like that. And yeah, so I would like for us to maybe talk about our experience like with being friends, you know what I'm saying? And I want to hear y'all perspective because I know what my experience is. I live in this fucking war zone. I live up here.
Clips. Would you like to go first? Or would you
Oh
like me to go
Lord,
first?
that means you got something to say.
Oh, lovely. Okay. No. You got something to say. Say it, sir.
What I first and foremost would like to say is that I love you,
I love
Zara.
you too.
I respect you a lot. Because like you said, we have disagreed a lot. We have gone through periods where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to talk to this person.
Right.
But I think through everything that we've been through, like you my nigga. Like I don't know, I don't know how to say it. But no, but in all seriousness, right? We met on Discord.
Yes.
Little over a year at this point, or getting close
It's
to.
been
It's
over.
been about
About
a
a
year.
year?
Yeah,
About a year,
about
right? Like
about a
May-ish?
year. Yeah, but yeah, about
Okay,
May-ish.
okay.
It was around COVID. But anyway, we've had some of the craziest conversations with each
Yes.
other. Shit we've all disclosed information with people,
Right.
amongst each
Right.
other, that, like you say, it just speaks to a different level of genuine friendship.
Yes.
You can, I feel like, so this is a weird
Nigga, say
area
it,
for me.
Say it. Yeah, damn.
It's a weird area because me and P have this conversation often.
Okay.
People don't. I think we had this conversation with P on our podcast when he joined us. But it's like people don't get it when you say you have a genuine relationship with somebody that started online.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember what you were saying. Yeah.
It's a new age. Like you said, over the year I've learned so much about working with people, interacting with people. Just a lot, man. I've grown so much. And Zara, I think you said that in our group
Yeah.
chat. I think I said when you said that this should be the idea for this pod, I said it's a great idea. I love the idea, and I said that I'm proud of us
Right.
because we've all come very far.
Woo, child.
It's a year. I was living in Milwaukee. I was dealing with a woman that I really shouldn't have been. Fighting depression, anxiety. Found y'all. started doing videos with clips. He gave me motivation to start, taking my music seriously. I put my first project out over last summer. I just wouldn't imagine where I'm at right now. And I think that goes to say, for me personally, I'm proud to have gotten to know you as a woman. I appreciate you and everything that you've helped me realize about myself. And I think that going forward, I think that you gonna body shit just like I'm gonna body shit, just like he gonna body
Precisely.
shit. This ain't the stop of the pod.
It's not.
It's just evolution.
Exactly.
It's taking
just-
bigger steps for
It's a
yourself
season.
and getting
It's
to
a-
where
it's a
you want to
season.
go.
Everything is a season.
Yeah,
Correct.
it is.
Right. And this season may have passed, but that's not a bad thing, right?
Correct.
Because things are meant to happen when they're meant to happen. And so that's why I say it's never any bad blood, it's never any issues, it's never any problems, because as long as you are in full understanding of what's going on and you are accepting and are truly friends, with everybody involved, it can never be that,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I accept that. I am in full support of you. I am thankful that you are in my life. I'm thankful that I got the chance to know you. It's been a hell of a ride.
It sound like a eulogy.
It's the last day of school. Like, what is going on?
No, that's kind of what it feels like, because I don't know. I feel like this is the three of us, and we came in here. Now, granted, it started off, just bullshit, right? Like, we used to just talk about whatever bullshit topics and try to get fake deep and fake woke, but
Yeah, but
it evolved. Like, look at where
that's,
we are.
That's something to be said,
It
right?
is.
Because this all came from something that, like, it's crazy how fast things change too, right? Like, you go back a year, because the Discord started like in May sometime last year, right? You go back a year, everything is different. Everything is different.
Who you telling?
Bruh. Jew is the most different, I feel like, out of everybody.
Jew probably is the
Jew
most
has
different.
changed
What?
so much.
But you're not
That's
far
crazy.
behind. You're not far behind.
Yeah, he's a little bit more emotionally intelligent than I am, but he definitely has evolved. Like, I mean, I started off not really caring for Jew. Let's tell the real truth. The first real conversation me and Jew had. Well,
I thought I had a chance. I thought I had a chance with you.
I mean, I knew that, but like, I just, like, what?
I did. I'm gonna be honest. If we're being transparent today,
And the first real, like, not real conversation, but the first real one-on-one we had, it was not good. And I thought in my mind, like, because this is let me disclose, because I think y'all know this about me on this subconscious level, but I've never said it. I have deep regret when I don't get along, or when I have a confrontation with someone that doesn't go the way that I would have liked. I don't feel good about it, but I stand 10 toes, which I think makes people think I'm doubling down. It's just, I have to respect myself. I can't disrespect myself because I don't get along with you.
I just remember what you're talking about. You're talking about when you call me colorist.
Yes.
Yo, okay, yeah, no, go ahead. I had to remember, because I'm like, what the fuck?
And like,
arguing?
we
And I
were
was
like on,
that was the
on
first
video
one.
chat, and like, I am screaming on Jew, like, and I did not like how that went, but I am the type of person, I have to process my emotions, and I'm doing better with responding and not reacting. But I didn't like how that went. So I kind of like disappeared, and I thought, I was like, I'm thinking people in the Discord are really cliquey, because that's my experience with people, but that's not the case in our Discord.
It's really not.
And like, people really are not nothing that you say.
That's why I left the other Discords.
Yeah, people are not really holding nothing against you. We have some of the best people on the internet in there. I stand by that. Let me not even do that. But so I got off. I got off because I was thinking in my mind, I was ashamed. Clip, stop being messy. You are being messy, boots. Sit up.
I know exactly why he laughed. I think I know exactly why he
laughing, because he
and it's
messy.
funny.
Sit up.
That's funny. Hey, that's funny. That's funny.
And
Cause the way she doubled back, it was like, wait a minute. I thought of a couple.
right, it
I was like,
I can't escape. I can't escape, boo. And to be honest with you,
Keep going.
right. So, anyways,
Here we go.
so I left because I was ashamed. I was ashamed at how I like kind of blasted off one Jew. And I was just like, this is a nice guy. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I being this way? So I dipped off. And of course, one of our other friends, Drip, who I get into it with all the time, like clockwork.
All the
Like
time.
me and this nigga are like siblings,
day.
bruh. Like legitimately, like
No,
a
for
brother
real.
that I can knock down, drag out, argue with, threaten, and then he gonna come back. Zara, I love you. I hope I didn't make you upset. That's what I need. That's the type of energy I need. But that's besides the point.
You know that. That's how you do that shit.
And so, like, Drip contacted me on Instagram and was like, he's like, come back to the Discord, da 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 da. So I came back. Now, mind you, I didn't stalk Jew, but I got Jew's Instagram, and I started following him. And
You
I do stalk is strong because it wasn't romantic, but I'm the type, if I want
like
you to be
Instagram
my
ain't
friend, you're
shit.
gonna be my friend. Know that. So I was just like, so I got his Instagram and I started following him. So I was just dropping. He was posting my story. I'm like, hey, how are you? And of course he's being pleasant too, but I'm still like, the average person is, cold-hearted. So I'm like, he just probably trying to play it off, be nice, da da da. And so then I come back to the Discord and everything didn't go back to normal immediately, but I was granted the grace and the privilege to build a friendship. And yeah, like now, I mean, I feel like me and Drew are kindred spirits. Our personalities are not that much similar, but when it comes to like our core beliefs and things that we're interested in, we think about. Usually, me and Drew,
It's a lot of times where it'd be like,
right? Me and Drew will legit say, Clips will say some of this podcast, and me and Drew will legit saying at the same time. Like, so I like, and then
okay.
Clips the Clips is another brother. This is like another very brotherly friendship where he is like an older brother though, which I've always wanted. And so he be Clips don't be on my head.
I feel
but
that.
This nigga Clips like my favorite cousin, bro.
I feel no.
P like my cousin, he like my grown cousin, then you like my married cousin, then it's like Bone like my little cousin.
I feel that because like in all the situations that we may have through the ups and the downs and disagreements and the back and forth and the fuck yous and all that, whatever it may be.
the private voice call.
cutting niggas out.
Yeah, all the shit. It's a lot.
All of that shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit, right?
Mitigations.
Like, how did we get here? but throughout all of that, one thing that's never changed is that one, I never at any point thought that I would want to stop fucking with you. So that never crossed my mind.
Same thing.
Yeah,
thing.
like it's just like I'm not like come on now. That's like no, this is not gonna happen over that.
Zara get on my motherfucking nerves, and I'll be like,
Yeah, but then
I'll be
it's
like, I leave it alone. Here's the thing. This is crazy. This is how I know I'm actually friends with her. She'll piss me off. Like, I'll get into my little mental. I'll start rambling to myself in my brain. Like, man, what is she
Talking shit.
about? Like, why is she like that? Yeah, you know me. So I'll take a step back and I'll just say, that's how Zara is. And then I'll just kind of giggle to myself and I'll be like, just let it breathe.
yeah, like I'll be mad. Like
we'll have
I'll
a
be,
conversation and then shit gets cleared or we just have an understanding and then it's
Yeah, it takes a
It
little
do.
minute. It takes a
It
little
do.
minute. But when that happens, like just the type of person I am, like if I feel any type of animosity or bad blood or unresolved tension, like just something in me is always makes me want to like say like, yo, like
it's not that deep.
I fuck with you still, like it's all love. I don't want you to feel like this. I probably fucked up here too, so it's whatever, you know.
That's why
And
I
it's been
appreciate her saying that about me though. That I'm emotionally
Intelligent.
fucking-
You are.
yes, because I felt like
Both of you guys are very emotionally intelligent, very tapped into
I
your
felt
divine
like
feminine, which is awesome.
I just felt like, there's a lot of times in my life where in my youth, right, when you don't have the reins on the emotion, you act certain ways, you make certain decisions,
Absolutely, yeah.
not the best decisions. And so for me to be at this place now, right, and for me, what's today? The 23rd. 4 days, you guys. I get to go see my girlfriend.
Can you FaceTime me? Okay.
Yeah, of course. But shit like that, right? Like, I'm able to compartmentalize enough, and Zara knows me right before. If
Don't.
Yaz, I need you to
Right,
fast forward.
just fast
Right
forward 10
before I was
seconds.
talking, right before I was talking to her, we were talking about how I was open relationship.
Right. And now you FaceTime.
Now I'm long distance relationship Bobby, and that shit I'm able to compartmentalize because I'm able to
and
grow.
I spared you because I was gonna bring that shit up. However, I respect your situation and how you feel about it, so I wasn't gonna do that to you live on the airways. But I seen it. That's it.
Oh, okay. He synced it. He synced it. He synced
Look at this nigga.
I seen
Hey,
it.
Zara, he stalked me out. You
Bro,
hear this
yeah.
nigga?
The clip's full of shit, y'all. That's one thing y'all don't know about
No,
Clip.
I appreciate that because I know he did because when I first suggested she come on, he lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. And he don't ever get excited about no fucking shit. He get excited about a couple
excited.
things.
He
But
just
this,
hide it.
I was
I could-
fucking happy.
I could tell he was grinning. And I was like, why is he
Because
grinning?
he happy
Like,
that you
why
in a
is he doing
monogamous
that?
relationship.
Ooh, no.
No, he mad
Not
because
that.
I came on here and was talking shit for weeks.
Full circle.
For weeks. This
Weeks.
nigga, before he got in a relationship, was
Weeks.
on this fucking show.
This
talking
same show.
all
Open
this
relationship
shit.
this.
All this shit. Polygamy, polyamory, open relationship.
So-
I'm single. Oh my. This nigga getting in a relationship, he totally different person.
So what does that tell you about
Which
who I am
you've
as a
grown.
person?
But I respect that. But that's why I didn't bring it up, because I understand that and I
Hey.
respect that.
I'm holding it the fuck down. I'm not cheating.
You do
I
what
don't
you-
do that shit. Women,
you do what you gotta
y'all
do.
might be fine.
You hold it
That's
down.
great. Live your best
Just
life.
not with my nigga.
Get your Fenty off. But you're not my girl. You could never.
Yeah. They can
Hear
hurt
me.
you ass, that's for sure.
You
'cause
could
she's
never.
One of a kind.
I tell her that often. I would scream that shit from the highest mountaintops, and I feel like, hey, fuck it, I would.
She's one of a kind. Yaz is definitely a beautiful spirit, for sure.
Absolutely.
One of a kind, bro. How do you pass something like that up? I feel like, it's crazy. I'll look at like, you ever look at couples and be like, I wonder how they got together. Like they just don't look
They will be
like
together.
they would be from the
Right.
same world.
Which y'all don't.
And you be like, how the fuck did they get together?
Discord.
And then they got kids and everything else. And so it goes to show you like it can
It
happen
can.
anywhere at any time with
could.
anybody. She lives like 11. So yo, craziest shit ever. I don't think I've ever told y'all this. Her house from my house right now, like where she lives right now and where I'm at right now, it's exactly 1,111
Are
miles.
you
11
serious?
I'm not kidding. From house to
Well,
house.
111 means like manifesting what you want. So yeah, 1111,
Ooh.
making a wish.
We have
That's
do
some
we have a number
weird
segment?
Oh yeah,
Shit.
numerology is real. I can
That's
come
some
on here
weird
in
shit.
another month. I got y'all.
And I'm not real big into numerology because I don't really understand it. But because listen, I'm already fucking nuts. I don't need to spend all my days looking at, okay, D is the fucking fourth letter of the alphabet, so 4 plus. I don't have time to do all of that. I'll lose my mind. I'll be like fucking
Or
a
you'd be
beautiful
like
mind somewhere.
Jim Carrey in numbers.
Fucking losing it. Fucking notebooks with numbers in it. I look like like a saw fucking trap in my room.
I saw it.
But yeah, no, like that. I appreciate that shit, man, from both of
Yeah.
y'all, because I've been trying, man. I've been putting in the work. Y'all know I go low, I disappear, but I'm always accessible. I'm always the same person. I try to
Yeah, somehow, some way.
somehow, some way.
May
I'll
have
make it
to
happen.
go through a couple of different mediums.
Right.
But hey, my friends know that shit too. Y'all not listen. My real life friends that know me, it's the same shit. When I go out, they be like, "Oh shit, what the fuck? Because I get the message, nigga, but I might not respond.
Now you might never
Just
respond.
pop out.
Oh yeah, on the second or third try, probably.
Well,
So.
I guess I'm privileged
I'll leave a
because
reaction.
you answered the phone for me. I
I'll
don't know
respond.
about the rest of you heathens.
I answer the phone. I answer the phone for my friends, my family.
No, he'll answer
woman.
the phone.
You're talking about the text.
Right.
The texting
So
is
that's the thing.
horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, it's like if I call you, it's because God, like nigga, I don't have no choice but to
Yeah,
call you.
Jude
now.
texting is
Because I
horrible.
literally, yo, if you need me, and I have your number saved on my phone, call my phone
Yes.
if you need me. But it better be call worthy. If it's some shit that you could text me, I'm gonna see it. I might not respond.
Nah,
but
I
I'm gonna see
don't.
it.
I'm not the person who's gonna call you on some petty shit. Like if I call you,
I'm petty though. I
It's
got my
because
red
I have
receipts
somebody
on
I need
Yeah,
to
for that
I'll be
reason.
calling you. I'll call you. Well, first I usually text. Before I called you, I text him and be like, "Can I call you?" And he'll be like, "Sure." And then I call him and I'll be just to talk, because I don't have nothing going on, child. Not nothing emergency.
right?
Ain't going on, child.
Which I appreciate, right? And that
But
just
you
kind
need
of
that.
goes. No, you do need that, and that kind of goes back to what we were saying about just how this friendship kind of bloomed, because it's been kind of the same thing with me and Zara, right? Like it's been situations where like I may have reached out to her like, hey, I need to call you, or she may have been like, I need to call you because of whatever may have been going on, or we just need to talk about something, whatever. Or we was talking about podcast shit, and it's just like, look, whatever the conversation may have stemmed from, it may not even been on the best of terms, right? Like we may have been feeling some type of way. I may have been not in the best space. She may have not been in the best space, but yeah. What are you gonna do, right?
We still end up here vibing like
Right.
this every Monday.
Absolutely. And I cannot wait
Yeah,
to
it's
watch
just
y'all
like-
every Monday. I cannot wait.
And we
I got
will
some
be here.
ideas, and it's not because you are. I want to be clear too,
Okay.
right? Because I feel like, because you said after last week, after we cut off the recording, you said like you don't want us to replace you. First and foremost, there is no replacement for Zara. There's only one. There's only one Zara Shelton, okay? And
What you said.
but
That'd be a struggle.
I do have some ideas. moving
I'm
forward.
excited to see
And I'll
them.
talk
I'm
clips
so
about them,
excited to see,
but-
like, because to me, it's like, I like to give everything my best. And like that Joe Button shit, bruh, like that put me in a place where I was just like, I cannot lose any of my friends to no bullshit. No bullshit. Because communication is the only thing that it takes. And especially knowing that I'm like, I don't have no problem with them. Like, we're in a good space. But I still was scared because, just being honest, going back to my inner child, like my inner child has dealt with rejection and stuff and dealt with people being mean when I decided to do something for myself. So I was just scared to say something because I was just like, I don't want for this to be the end of our friendship. But then when I thought about it, I was like, our friendship is so much bigger than this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like Clip said, there's a
We
season.
were friends before this.
Right. And Clip said there's a season. I'm just like, there is a season. And this season in our friendship is over, but we're moving into another season. And so it's just like I'm looking forward to this next season. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the world opening back up. We need to figure out our Discord meetup. I'm tired of talking about it. I get my second shot tomorrow.
Yes, I probably
You
should
can
show
join
that.
the
But
Discord,
hey,
by the
hey,
way. Link in the
fuck it.
Please
description.
join the Discord,
Yes, join the
and
Discord
talk.
and don't hack my vaccination card. I don't
No,
know
you
if I
can't
just
see it. You can't
exposed
really
some
see
shit.
it.
But yeah,
But I feel
big
like
vax.
once I did the inner work to not be projecting, because I feel like what I do and what I know a lot of people do, but what I do is I will project shame and guilt on other people, and I make it seem like my emotions are what they think. No, those are your emotions. You feel shame, you feel guilt. You need to work through that before you bring some shit to somebody's doorstep. So I worked through all that stuff, and then when I hit y'all up, I was just like, I felt relieved because I was just like, these are really my friends. And though I'm moving into a time where I'm hyper focused on my bag, I have a lot of big stuff coming up this year, next year. And so I'm not even really in a space where I can be in contact with my friends, my close friends, because I have a really big group of close friends that I talk to, like either on Instagram every day, Discord, through text, through Twitter, and that's changing. That's changing across the board, and it's scary, and it makes me sad because it's like I'm not gonna be able to sit around and talk to my friends. You know what I'm saying? All day. I'm not gonna. I check in the Discord like maybe once a week now, just because work is picking up. I got a second job, and so those changes are really scary. Like because it makes you think,
It's a lot to
right?
juggle.
And it makes you think, what if we're not as close as we were? But it's just like real. And then I saw this post where it was just like form deep connections, not deep attachments. And when I thought about that, I was just like, this is a deep connection. It's not a deep
good.
attachment. Because if we're attached, we can't grow in opposite directions. We can't grow laterally. But if we're connected, we're always connected, no matter where we are. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree 100%.
And that's one like I feel similarly to how you're feeling, but I think I'm just in a different space as far as like, because you say you have a lot of close friends that you keep up with through Instagram, through Discord, through whatever the channel may be. I just feel like I'm in a space where I have certain friends that I keep up with. Like I keep with a couple with y'all, I keep up with a couple other people. But I feel like I don't have the mental capacity to go through all this other stuff with other people on some like casual shit, right? Like I don't. There's so many other things going on in my life where it's like I don't have the energy. I don't feel like to build or carelessly or frivolously spend time or energy in doing this or that, talking to you, because I don't care.
Right.
To be honest with you, like
Time is an asset.
Time
Man.
is
yeah, like I
invaluable.
mean I have it's a time is very valuable, and I've learned that in a lot of lessons or a lot of different ways this past year or maybe a little over a year, because it's just like you can't get it back, and how you spend it is just so very important.
Right.
So I spend it with those, or I use my energy on those that I see value in, that I see, that I have a care for, that I feel like I genuinely want to do this outside of anything else,
Right.
right? So that's why I keep up with y'all. That's why I fuck with y'all. That's why I continue to be here every week with y'all, because I value our friendship. I value your place in my life, and that's really it.
I can't believe, right?
He about to say something stupid.
No, this is some
Okay.
real shit. So in my head, right? When I think of clips, right? I think of, first of all, I think of my homie,
Right.
right?
That should be first
Okay.
and foremost.
And I feel like, first of all, like you my dog, bro. Like I want to say I appreciate you and thank
What's
you.
coming here?
You see how you
No,
say
this
you
is
up
some
for the Okie though, right?
This is some real shit.
You're right.
Look, when the way I met Clips is hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
This nigga puts out on his channel, and I'm a YouTube fucking whatever. Like I don't watch
Watch
TV.
YouTube.
I only watch YouTube, Twitch, shit like that. I'm a nerd. Whatever.
Period.
So I had been a fan of his compilations, like everybody else. Compilations, what the fuck? Like everybody else. And he put out a post that said like, "I'm thinking about doing some new shit, y'all." And so like I used to hate YouTube posts in general.
You talking about on the
Like,
community
these niggas
tab?
bad.
Yeah.
Just in general, like they'll pop up while I'm on my phone, while you scrolling your timeline on YouTube. And his was like, "Yo, y'all, I'm thinking about doing some new stuff on my channel. I appreciate the support from everybody, but I'm looking for like creators out there that I can work with. I got big plans." And I was like, who? I was like, who is? I was like, first of all, I was like, who is this Batman?
Not
nigga?
Batman.
Like, who the
Clips
fuck is-
was like Batman. He definitely was like Batman for like
Bruce Wayne as fuck. Bruce Wayne is
He
a
really
bitch. Didn't know who he was, what he did.
I agree 150%.
So
What are we doing?
anyway, just getting to the point, right? He puts the post out. I responded to the post after convincing myself that I could do it. It was at a point where I wanted to release my music. I felt like it would have been a good look for me, and I felt like it was an opportunity. Regardless, it was an open door. So when I put the thing out, and I looked in the comments, and everybody was like, "Oh, Zay, easy, Zay 97." Then I noticed. I checked back a couple of days later. He was like, "Nah, I already talked to Zay." He said he's not available. And he was like, plus, I'm trying to get, like, he already has his fan base. Like, I'm trying to give somebody a platform. And I was like, excellent. And then I think right after that, he DM'd me, and we set up the first compilation battle.
That is so cute.
And that shit was so fun, bro. Like, and he literally is the reason I bought a green screen, studio lighting. I took my camera shit more serious. I took my music shit more serious. I was traveling more. Obviously, I made this move down here, all because of I was able to network with people, evolve, like Zara said, through his Discord and meeting people and talking to people. And just, it's crazy to me. That's what I think of whenever I think of this nigga. So it's weird, like, when I'm like, we do a pod, I be texting this nigga. And like when we had P on again, he was like, when I brought up the fact that his friend was like, nigga, you don't know Loaded Clips, like, you don't know that nigga. And P was like, yeah, no, like, I know that nigga, bro. Like, I be talking to him. That's my bro. Like, I know him. You know how P is, right?
So
you know
dramatic
how P
and
is.
extra.
So I think of the same thing, right? But like, none of my friends is into this shit, so it's different for me. But at the same time, it's still cool for me, right? Like, it's a community that I found on my own. It's a niche that I found, and I'm now a part of it, and we now have a fucking somewhat of a business venture, I guess you could say.
You guys do have a business. You guys do have a business venture, and y'all should be proud of that. And it is very exciting
because I really do love this nigga, bro. Like, I've never met this nigga. I wish the best for him. I've never even like fathomed that I could be in a place where I could say that about not complete strangers, because like I said, we've known each other for like a year now. But it's the level, it's the strength of the connection, right. I think, and like how soon everything kind of happened and how it happened because of the pandemic and everybody going through everything. But it's just dope.
It's very dope.
It's just dope. Friendship is dope. Our relationship is dope. We've been through a lot of shit together, but we made it out on the other side of it. And that I think it's a really dope testament to what it is to have a healthy relationship with you, that you fuck with and care about.
Chef's kiss.
End of monologue. Take it away, buddy. Loaded Clips.
It's always so tickled that Loaded Clips is my friend, because my brother is like my copycat. So anything I do, he does. So he's like into the JBP now. I'm like, you so lame, but he's like, and then like finally when he started getting into it, of course he started looking at the compilation videos, right? Like everyone does. And so then he's like, Zara, this the Loaded Clips you talking about? You do a podcast with? Nigga, I've been doing a podcast with this nigga for months, and you just now, this is what just now connecting. You connecting the dot. It took you that long?
And now he want an autograph.
Right, you not friends. He do the same thing. You not friends with no Loaded Clips. I'm like, okay. I'm like, who is this Clips guy? Is some of this big shot?
Look. You pull up your phone and his name is Garrett and shit in your phone. You like, this nigga is the closest thing to Chris Brown that we got.
For right now, because look, I need y'all to get famous so I can get a bag through y'all. I'll be a part of the entourage, because I scare a nigga off quick.
This nigga.
Somebody need to get connected.
What are we doing?
We treat this nigga like he
pop. He running like he.
What are we doing?
Hey, the whole time, no, he's been mad humble. He's just been sitting there
Clips
like,
is running around like he
I did do
bro.
that. Look. He had his leg crossed. He was sitting there like, yeah, I did do that. I did put this nigga on.
You were so shy in the beginning. Like when you first started getting on camera, you were so shy. And I remember that battle you talking about, because that's the battle I watched, and I was just like, let me join the Discord.
But that's how.
Hey, Clips.
that's me. Like I don't.
You
I'm
are not
First
shy,
battle.
Clip, so please stop it. You're not shy.
That first
Nah,
battle was
You're
the
really,
one.
coy, like, but you're not shy.
I
Batman.
100%
Because
am.
once you start
You
to get to
Batman.
know Clip, it is not as it's not as much mystery, but it's a lot of intrigue. I would say that Clip's personality is very intriguing. It's interesting. Like, cause the more I understand about, like, the more I get to know y'all, the more I'm starting to learn y'all brain works. I think y'all know how my brain work better than I know how y'all brain work. Cause I'm
A little bit.
but now that I'm learning more about y'all brains, I'm just like, these are some interesting motherfuckers, boy. These motherfuckers are interesting. You hear me?
I've been told that a lot in my life, but I really
Motherfucking
am a
Batman.
shy person. Like I'm not like being in front of a camera, being like speaking in any type of public space or public forum or anything like that. Like if you had said that to like 15, 16-year-old me,
It would have been a
it's
hell to the
like,
no, no, no.
yeah, like what the fuck are you talking about? No, why would I do that?
But I think that's why we work
But
so good together, bro. I don't
maybe
mind this
so, but
I
it's
don't mind
like
this shit.
it's like things have happened in my life, or I've been put in positions in my life to where it's like, all right, you gonna have to do this, so you either gonna get the fuck over it,
It
or
won't get done.
yeah, or that's just it.
But
So
you know,
what's it gonna be?
similarly to that, that was my same feeling towards my own podcast. I was just like, I can't do this by myself. I have to collaborate. I have to do this with other people. And it's almost like, I was just like, no, Zara, I think this is something that is very intimate and it's something that you're meant to start by yourself. And then once I, like, because I feel like we're more powerful as a group of friends when you have your platform, I have my platform, Drew has his platform. So then we can employ more of our friends, we can employ more of our family. And then when it's time for us to collaborate, consolidate, we have the option to be more moving pieces. It's not so much dependency. I just don't like to be in situations where
Come
I
to the
feel
table with
like
a lot
I'm
of equity.
dependent on someone, because then that creates entitlement, that creates resentment. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good place to be in as a grown up with your friends, your
Yeah.
parents, anyone. You wanna feel like, I could do this with my homeboys, but I'm gonna do this by myself because this is what I need to do. And as a woman, we're not really taught that
Yes.
type of stuff. So this was like a really new
With the
experience
support,
for
of
me.
course.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I don't think
We're
women are
not
taught
taught
that.
self sufficiency
But
or
you're right.
self reliance unless it's on some you got to get the fuck out of
No.
my house type shit, you know? So we're not taught the infrastructure of power.
That's a hell of a conversation.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I have this genuine respect for like sex workers, for female sex workers, whether it be stripping or otherwise, because
Sex work is
It is.
hard.
that's what I'm saying. And on top of that, you have to deal with all of that emotionally, mentally, physically. Like it's not
It's
easy
not.
work at all.
Aside
And
aside
so
aside from all of that, like just the business aspect
It's
of
like the
it,
music
right?
business.
exactly,
It's
It's
hard.
hard.
you have to be that fortified mentally and
Yeah.
business minded. Like I was listening to, oh god, I still was listening to Joe Budden, and
You
Johnny
allowed to
Blaze was
listen to
on
Joe
there,
Budden?
and she was a
Shit.
dancer. I know, but there's a bad stigma
Oh, who
on him right
cares?
now. But anyway,
I have a question. I have a question after you finish.
okay. She was on there, and she was a former dancer, and she described how like she really had to get it out the mud. She talked about her life story. It was really interesting to listen to, and it reminded me that like, yeah, bro, like people really come from different places and have really strenuous circumstances that they really like fight through, claw through, and then they come out on the other side a more successful person. She didn't get paid for Love and Hip Hop, which is
What?
nuts to me. It's nuts to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, not a dime. And she was on there fighting
But
bitches
her
every
story,
week.
a part of her inner work, I think, has to do with people taking advantage of her, because a lot of that is in her story.
Yes, that's what, and she
Yeah.
expressed a lot of that, and that's why that's why it was interesting. But that's why it all goes back. Let me bring it all together. Is just in general, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think
Yeah.
women are taught that. That she had to literally embrace that mentality because she had no
Right.
choice. But the average chick that works
She'll
at
never
fucking
do it.
Sephora,
She'll never do it.
I don't think she'll do it.
No.
Not saying chicks that work at
That's a nice
Sephora
little
are
gig. Give
average,
me,
by the way.
look.
It's
I'll take a third
fantastic
job at Sephora, get the skincare products popping for 50%.
But a lot more women are comfortable in that because, like you said, they're not taught that. They're taught to find a man that will supplement that, right? So yeah, you can work your little job at Sephora when I just, hey, keep yourself cute, keep yourself up, and when that dude come in, you better grab him. You better make sure that he looking at you or whatever, and he can take you up out of here.
I hate how
So-
society does that to women, because that's just
what
why
it
we just
is.
don't have them in those powerful
Right.
positions.
That's just what it is, and that's what that's what damn near everybody is just
And then
just
people,
taught.
but one thing I can say though is my view on relationships has changed a lot. I'm still a get money bitch. That's never gonna change. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, Blackwell. I just I love I like money.
That was caliente. I like that. That was hard. That made me want to get a
You know what I
gun.
mean? I get money myself. I work. I love to work. I love to get money. So I need that in a man. Period. And even if I was dating a woman, I wanted my lesbian bitch to be making money. So
Period.
but I'm realizing
Life
like
partner.
there are so many things I want in a relationship that had to do with me being insecure as a woman in my position in society. Not in the relationship, but just the fact that I felt like I need a man to do this, to do that, to do this for me, because if he doesn't, how will I do it? You know what I'm saying? And like now I'm realizing in all my relationships, but I think this is a part of growing up and being a woman and being an adult really, is just like realizing nobody's entitled to do shit for you, and the shit that people do for you, you should appreciate, be grateful, and don't expect nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
and when I
100%.
enter into a relationship, granted, I like I'm not gonna say that because I'm trying to get out of that. I like men who spend money on me.
Say you like
Yeah,
some tripping ass niggas. Come on.
Yeah. Word.
Come on, man. What
Say
you
the
what we
niggas.
doing?
Say the niggas that like are
Right.
frivolous.
I like
with
tricks.
their-
I love tricks.
They have a
I
lot of
like
back
trick.
end.
I just do, and because I like giving. I'm a pleaser and a giver myself. So I
love the
can't be
givers.
in a relationship with someone who is not going to reciprocate that. So, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be so extreme, because now that I'm coming into my power as a person and I know I can do for me, I don't necessarily need you paying every bill, like how I was maybe like a year or two ago. And so I
Right.
think as I'm getting older, I just want to preach the gospel to women. It's like, you can find you a trick who's gonna make sure that you live an amazing life, but that does not mean that you shouldn't be setting yourself up to have your own separate life, your own separate career, your own friends. This is the dependency, like the relationship with dependency and codependency as a woman is just changing, and it's affecting all my relationships. You know.
That's beautiful.
It's evolution.
That's
It's
very
growth.
beautiful.
True.
What do you
is.
call that? Self awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness. That'll fall in there somewhere.
Taking power in your
Yeah.
power. You're grabbing it.
Real quick, I just wanted to ask a quick question, very quick question, because this has
Oh
been a
yeah,
hell
we
of an
got it.
episode.
We got
Yeah,
it.
this really has.
But just a very quick question. Because Juice said he was watching the Joe Budden Johnny Blaze.
Oh yeah.
I think that was on Patreon, right?
Correct.
There's been some rumors or some rumblings that Joe Budden lost the Cash App deal. If that is true, do you have any thoughts on that? Just real quick. Because let me add some extra
not
context,
good.
right? Like, because if you do, y'all watch the podcast YouTube videos, or have you in the
Yeah,
past?
yeah, with the Cash App thing in the corner, right?
Yeah, you have the Cash App logo in the corner, right? So if you notice on the last 2 episodes that have came out,
Oh,
it's
he
not
lost
there.
it then.
He hasn't
Yeah.
shouted him out.
He hasn't shouted him out, didn't do the reading.
That
so
sucks.
Contract might have been up too.
so that was
That
interesting.
sucks.
He either lost it or it's time for the renegotiation. But even by now,
Possibly.
in my opinion, if Joe, I don't know why, after all of this fucking mess, I trust him. That doesn't even sound right, but I trust him to have taken that money and have it been allocated to support the show.
Oh no, I don't.
Even
Yeah, I
at its
don't.
bare necessity. So I don't see it affecting the show.
No,
I actually
I
think
don't-
it might be a good thing.
Right, I don't think it would. I'm not speaking from a perspective of it's gonna affect the show. The show's gonna tanking in and
Oh, yeah,
everybody's gonna lose
no.
their job or something like that. Like, I'm not speaking from that perspective. I'm just speaking
Are
from
you
the
asking me
perspective
why?
of like, no, not why. Just like I just think it's
Okay, what?
interesting, and I wanted to know if y'all had any thoughts on
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I just think it's, you know what? Let me give my spiel, and then I'm done talking. I'm gonna let y'all close this out or do what you guys do. I think hindsight not being 2020 because we saw it, we saw the 2020 before the hindsight, but just hindsight.
Yeah.
I think that I still believe right is right, wrong is wrong. I still will not be financially supporting Joe Budden. Um, but I think that I wasn't fair in the way I was thinking about him because I did not look at him as a piece of a machine. But I think the last what I talked about like the systemic stuff in the music industry. But I just think that it sucks that he was used as really a scapegoat when all of them are doing horrible business like that. And we did not jump on P. Diddy crazy like that when all them people came out and said that he's been asking people not to be paid and all that stuff. So I just think that it sucks how much energy is being sent their way and they are not even really able to resolve it within themselves. I just hate to see it happen to anyone. And I think as I'm thinking that
Yeah.
way, I do think there's consequences for every behavior, granted. And the Cash App thing, the Cash App is Jack Dorsey, and he don't play with like business and stuff. He the first sign he sniff, he's out because he's trying to turn Cash App into a record company and all that stuff. Um,
He's doing a lot of
right.
shit with
So
Cash App.
He can't be
A lot of shit.
associated
right. So
with
he
that
was like, I'm
shit.
not, because this is new too. Shit, we trying to get out the mud just like y'all. But I don't like how we all kind of talked about the problem, but no one has sat Joe ass down and tell him what the fuck he needs to do. And like not nobody from See the Thing Is, not nobody from Karen and Ming are from what I gathered from their last podcast, they started their own YouTube channel. They're moving their podcast to their own YouTube channel. So I think they're planning to leave whenever their contract is up. Which makes sense for them
Yeah, because they're listen
because
away.
I love that podcast. They don't belong in that mess. They don't belong in that mess.
Ka- Karen don't give a
Unfortunate,
fuck
man.
about none of that. Karen can do her own thing, and
Exactly, and that's why it's
yeah,
unfortunate. He
it's
fucked
like
He
that
fucked
up.
that.
He
He
really
did fuck
fucked
that
that
one
up.
up. He fucked that up. And so
and he said
he
that
did.
actually. He said in one of the recent episodes while Rory and Maul were gone, he was like, he made a joke or something about how everybody's leaving the network left and right, right? But he had said he had a talk with Karen and stuff like that, and he was like, "Yo, if Karen leave, like, I need to like fly her and see what the fuck is going
Right.
on, cause like if she leave, I know I did something
And
wrong. Like I
she's
fucked
leaving.
up. Like
So I mean, and from what she said,
Book
what
the
I
flight,
gathered,
bucko.
and they were very clear about what they're doing. They just didn't explicitly say because they probably can't because they contracts and how Joe behaved with that. But I really wish that someone could love him to health because it seems like he's just acting as an inner child. He has a lot of stuff he has to work through. So I just wish his peers could love him to health.
He does. He does. And that's why, like, I naturally empathize with damn near everybody, right? And so I do empathize with Joe Budden because, like, all the shit that he says, all the shit he's going through, I can put myself in his shoes and understand why he feels that way. I can understand why you do the things that you do, but at the same time, I can recognize
Right.
right from wrong and that why you shouldn't do this and why you shouldn't do that. And it's in like, and I can't sit here and say that, you know, it's a situation where it's just like, oh, you didn't know any better, because while at first you may not have known any better, there's been so many different instances where people have had conversations with you and said, hey, this would probably help in preventing, you know, any further blowups or any further issues going on. Like, fuck, what episode was? I don't remember exactly what episode was it, but this was maybe a couple months ago when they were just having on the Joe Budden podcast. They were talking about just the Joe Budden network in general, and Rory had said something to him. He was like, "Yo, like we all kind of agreed, like, we need some type of person here, like HR. Like this is around the beginning where the HR joke started. Like we need some type of HR. We need some type of person that some people can come to and talk to and air out grievances and issues and criticism, because it can't just be you. It can't be you because one, not everybody may feel comfortable bringing everything to you all the time, for whatever reason it may be, and two, it's not optimal to set up the business that way, because you can't take everything in and process it 100% objective every single time.
If ever.
So like there needs to be someone there. That conversation has been had several times on air, and so I'm sure it's been had off air in addition to that. And so I can't sit here and say the signs weren't there when all that has happened in the past, and just doing simple things. Like you didn't even have to do everything. If you do a couple of things that can add layers of security, that can help save some things. And so it's just unfortunate because while I do empathize with him, it's like nigga, what you expect when you put your hand in the fire? Like
You made your bed, now sleep.
yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. I think he'll be
Pray
fine.
for everybody.
Your prayers for
man.
everybody involved, in the great words of Joe Budden.
Especially
Yeah, prayers for everybody, and that's why I say I think he'll be
Olivia.
fine.
Olivia.
especially Olivia. Cause
I've been sending her love and light since she left the show, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing.
You know, dealing with loved ones.
Like I don't know
Dealing
if
with
y'all,
loved ones who have dealt with sexual harassment in the workplace. It's very tender. It's very hard to deal with. It's very traumatizing.
It is.
It's
And if y'all remember my perspective, Olivia is near and dear to my heart. So it's just an unfortunate
God bless these
situation.
people, man.
But
you know?
my thing is, I took Joe Budden's situation and I learned from it, and I took his situation and I said, this is the blueprint for disaster. All I gotta do is do the opposite, and then I'm
Correct.
successful with my friends.
Wow. Did you say
Yeah,
blueprint?
the blueprint for disaster.
You know, speaking of blueprints,
I'm sorry.
You can go ahead and take it away.
I'm sorry. I'm
from me.
sorry.
Keep going.
is everybody done
Okay.
for today?
We're done. You take the reins. You get us out of here.
What episode number is this?
The blueprint is this. This is 24.
24, Kobe. Okay.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Bean.
Black Mama.
So, and Mama Caesar and everybody else who lost their life on that day. But anyway, speaking of blueprints, did you know, Zara, that I've been working on new music for quite some time?
Kinda.
Okay, well, Eclipse, did you know that I've been working on new music for quite some time, buddy?
I did know. Yeah, I did.
Well, I have to announce the Jew print is coming out very soon. I'm shooting for July. I don't have a date. My birthday is July 15th, so somewhere around there. You know, ooh, teaser. But yeah, I got 2 singles dropping probably next month. I'll keep it a buck because I have to shoot the video still. But I have 2 singles coming out, a 2-pack dropping. So if y'all support me, y'all fuck with me, I will drop all of that shit. My Instagram is somewhere on the screen or something. It's Jewgram23. Follow me on there, and we gonna get shit cracking. And Jew print, like I said, motherfucking July. I don't know when. I don't know what day.
Sometime.
July.
It'll be soon.
Sometime.
Whenever.
3 collections of music. Oh, the most important part. I don't know if I want to spoil it. Do you think I should spoil it?
Say
By
it.
the way? I think I should. What do you think, Clips? Because it's.
I don't like how I don't know, and that bothers me.
Okay, so Pete,
ahead,
I'll
go ahead.
I'll break it, yeah, because she needs to know. So it's gonna be exclusively on OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
No, okay, so I like the fact that I got her raw reaction, but I'm gonna explain it. On OnlyFans, I don't plan on making the OnlyFans a paid OnlyFans.
Okay.
It's a free OnlyFans. You can subscribe for free, but the plan is, once you subscribe to the OnlyFans, I'm going to make posts. It's going to contain the Jew print 3 collections of music. You can purchase all 10, including a bonus intro track. They will all be cohesive in that 10, and it will be a link that I'll send you that you can access a private playlist that has the album in its entirety. Or you can pay separately $4 a piece for collection 1, collection 2, collection 3, and I might even do bundles with buy 2 get 1, etc., etc. But yes, I'm gonna try and revolutionize the way people put out music. I'm sick and tired of not getting paid from streams. So if you fuck with me and you have $4
Support.
or $10 to spare, please support. Please support. This is something that I'm really
Support it.
putting my all into. I've thought sleepless nights about this shit, had mad anxiety and shit, and I put a lot of effort into this project. And yeah, I'm proud of this shit. This shit is gonna be different. This 2-pack is crazy.
I'm excited to hear
That's
it.
all I'm
I'm
gonna
excited to buy your music. Please make some vinyls. I just got all my vinyls from my house. I would love to add you to my collection.
Yeah,
Genius.
I got the vinyls. So if you got vinyls, I'm in there.
Say less. I'll create some Juke print vinyls because the artwork is gonna be crazy. I'm working with another close
Okay.
friend of mine that I met online.
Yeah, the bundle will be nice.
I'll be reaching out to him very
Please
shortly.
give us the bundle so I can get the t-shirt, the vinyl.
But thank
Yo.
you. This has been
This has been.
fucking. This podcast is canceled. Episode 24. I'm Jew.
Yeah.
Zara. So long. Farewell. We love you. We wish you the best. We support you and everything. Please go follow
And
her
we will see
on
you
social
Yeah,
again
media.
y'all be back in another
We will
month or
see
two.
you again
Say what's
very
up.
soon. Very soon.
I'm
She's
not.
not going anywhere. But please go support her in the meantime.
Support me in my I'm
That's
sorry.
my boy Clips.
I
Oh, go
was
ahead,
just
go
gonna
ahead, go
say
ahead, go
my
ahead. No,
podcast
please,
name
please.
is Warm Tones. It's 2 words. You can go on Spotify.
Yeah, name change.
Yeah,
name
you can go on
change.
Spotify. You can go on Anchor. You can go on iTunes Music. It's on any streaming platform. It's called Warm Tones. My Instagram
Warm
is
Tones.
at Shiva the Destroyer _ and my Twitter is Cream Shiva. Yeah, so follow me. Please keep in contact with me if you want to. If you can come on that bitch hate and stay where you at. But
Yeah, please don't do that to the queen, please. But it's
Oh,
warm
my
tones. Warm tones like silk
Warm
audio
tone.
butter. Yeah. I like that. I like that
silk like the
sultry
audio of this
That's
podcast.
ooh-wee. I like that. That's she got me in my creative bag. I might have to record tonight. But anyway, episode 24. Thank y'all for being here. Support the Cash App if y'all want to support this podcast directly. It is $ Garrett 2 R's 2 T's GARRETT. What's the numbers? Do you know?
407.
There you go. 407. Again, $ Garrett 407. Fuck with us.
And that's
This
it.
podcast is canceled.
love you
And we out.
guys.